Hey, what's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent, and I think this video is going to leave you left unwanting if you're somebody who's a fan of RPGs but wants to play with them with friends. And I know a lot of my audience plays MMOs or online action RPGs, but there's really not too many that actually are party-focused or actually truly cooperative. But I think I have a list here that's going to satiate your thirst, your hunger, left no longer ravenous. Here we have a slew, an entire emergent genre of cooperative RPG. That's going to be action RPGs or looter shooter or whatever subgenre you want to call it. These are games with RPG mechanics, an RPG focus, but also seemingly a sincere attempt at cooperative emergent gameplay. But please keep in mind, these are upcoming games, so we'll know in time if I was wrong or right, but here we're going to try to keep the hype alive. So let's jump into it. Here's my top 5. Alright guys, so starting out our list here at number 5, I'm going to talk about The Division 2. Now this is a game that I actually just now got access to the first Division, but it's a game that I really passed up. I wasn't very interested in that, and we've talked about The Division quite a number of times on these list videos because this new one is really exciting, and I'm tired of really parroting myself and everyone else, but basically, let's just fix the issues of number 1, don't go into too far of a divergent direction, and just be a true sequel, be a better version of, well, I guess really the real version of what Division should have been in the first place. Now, I personally don't agree with games as a service that also have sequels that are numbered, that are, episodic or anything. Like, if it's a service, then keep servicing us, like, evolve the world and grow it and expand it. So I'm a little bit worried about that. That's why it's number 5. It's also not too fantastic and seemingly very unoriginal, but at the same time, the looter shooter genre is itself very emergent, and I want to see what the Division can do, but, at number 5. I'm trying to keep my hype at bay, but I definitely will be jumping in, so hopefully you guys stay tuned for that over at twitch.tv/Skylent and for all these games as well. But for a looter shooter that is modern military, or I guess post-apocalyptic in some ways, in some situations, it seems like, I don't know, in a genre that's generally very fantasy, maybe this is kind of an interesting themality. All right, but like jumping right on through the list, number 4, I have our only MMORPG full-on the list, and that's going to be Pantheon. This is going to be one of those classical MMOs, or it's like, kind of a retro-inspired MMO, and it's the one that I think has the best advertising, the best, I guess, art, the best presence, aesthetic in a lot of ways. Overall, like the overall best foot forward for a genre that is very niche and very hyper-focused and probably incredibly difficult to actually pull off. So out of all these like other crowd-funded smaller MMOs, Pantheon is the one that actually is more so seemingly focused on true cooperation, which most MMOs, as I've already mentioned in the intro, don't really do that. So Pantheon's the only one that's actually going to make the list as an MMORPG, which you would imagine that genre should probably populate this entire list, but that is not the case. So the only full-on MMO on the list is going to be Pantheon. I definitely implore that you guys check out some videos that I've done on it, some speculation videos and criticisms I've had, but as long as they take their time to make a really good polished product, I think this is the one that will be the most polished out of everything else in its particular genre. So, looking for an MMO to co-op through, and with a small team, party, maybe a guild, Pantheon is looking like it's our best bet. Halfway on the list, let's talk about Anthem. Now, this is a game that maybe you would expect me to put at number 1 because I've been kind of shouting it out from the rooftops for a while, but we got to play the beta, and even though it comes out later, like The Division 2, just a little bit, I mean, it's not too long here, but we saw that it lacked a little bit of luster, and I'm a little bit worried about the launch of this game. Same thing with Division 2, as I said, but it's just that I do still have hope for this game. I'm really excited about the story, and I'm really excited to see the expansions, the future of this game as a service, and I just love the core concepts and the fundamentals, which with Warframe, as we saw, can take it really, really far, as long as they don't just, give up on it or make a sequel or something like that. But Anthem is a game with freaking like Iron Man suits, all different varieties, jumping around, killing lots of cool little monsters. I like fighting monsters, I like robot suits, and I do like the looter shooter type of repetitive kind of gameplay to an extent. I'm diving into it, much like many action RPG games, very looter focused. That's cool. Anthem's looking like to be the new spearhead of the looter shooter genre, maybe even dethroning Warframe. But the one thing that I'm worried about is the skill builds, or the building, the RPG mechanics, how intense is that, and how necessary is the cooperation in this game. It's totally focused on co-op, but is there really going to be roles? Is there going to be different builds that work with different parties? And how much replay value is that as a looter shooter? Or is everyone just going to go ham, go berserk nonstop, and it's just going to be a pure addictive looter? That doesn't really mean it's going to be worthy of true critical acclaim. So for that, a little bit of worry, but I'm still keeping the hype alive. It's at number 3. Okay, number 2 is going to be a game called Hightail. Little known game, but not for long. Actually, you guys probably have already heard about it. It's been a tsunami swiping over the entire internet because it's basically going to be Minecraft 2.0. Unless it runs like Dookie, which originally Minecraft did too, regardless, Hightail seems to be doing everything Minecraft does except more and even better. And the awesome, fantastic thing is that all these additional stuffs that they're doing, not just twisting around the art style, not just twisting around some of the mechanics or adding in a little bit more action here and there. We've seen a lot of other Minecraft clones, but no, Hightail is focusing because it is from the makers of Hypixel, the biggest, debatably one of the best, if not the best, Minecraft minigame server. They are focusing on the online gameplay. So this is a co-op RPG list. I don't know if you guys have ever played the adventure stuff in Minecraft, but that stuff is amazing. Not exactly RPG or action RPG, not all the time. Sometimes they do have those elements, but Hightail has that potential. It also has the potential to be a full-on MMO RPG. It has the potential just to be a mini-game. You can even make shooters, apparently, in Hightail. There's full customization, like even animation tools and assets and things like that. So full creative control of online servers, and obviously, you're gonna have slots. You're gonna have people making cooperative RPG adventures inside of this game. And not only that, but it also deserves its spot on the list because Hightail's, unlike Minecraft's very vanilla and open world and even open for interpretation story, Hightail is going to actually have a lore in a world-built setting that's more entwined with proper fantasy RPG aspects. So because of that, and then of course the potential for the future of Hightail, it's making it at number 2 for new co-op RPG. Now, in my opinion, what would be probably the best upcoming new co-op RPG? That's probably going to be Outward, I think. Chances are. Likely? Maybe. Outward is a game that is going to get extra bonus points here, because some of you might have been clicking on this list because you want to do couch co-op. I don't think any game on this list allows you to do that, but this one. Outward does allow for split screen, open world survival, fantasy, cooperative action RPG content. Now, Outward I've kind of described as Skyrim meets Dark Souls, almost meets like Ark Survival Evolved, because it is a survival game very much inspired. I think some elements are light survival elements, and then others are kind of maybe debatably even more hardcore. For instance, in a lot of games like Ark or Minecraft or what have you, you have like an infinite backpack or a very lenient backpack. But in this game, and actually similar to many historical or classic RPGs, no, the inventory in the backpack system is pretty important. So they give you a literal choice of different backpacks, what you put in it, and if you're holding the backpack, your moveset is changed, you might roll slower or what have you, and you can lay down your backpack. Little minute mechanics like that that really kind of make sense in the RPG genre have been intertwined. So no, it's not just an RPG shoehorned into a survival game or a survival game that is pretending to be an RPG. It seems like it's a perfect merger of those based on the dev diaries, which I implore that you actually go watch. I'm going to link it in the description below, and that's what you're watching now as well. But the gameplay, at least in terms of the combat, seems very Souls inspired. And there's a lot of weird magic and weird mechanics I'm seeing, at least with the combat, that also kind of separates it just a little bit from something like Skyrim. Something that I kind of glazed over a little bit is going to be the story in the lore, and apparently this RPG is going to have a focus on the actual story, the progression, and you're going to be able to play with your friend through that. There's also some very interesting roguish elements here where death, it's not permanent or anything, but when you sit back and you're actually defeated by an enemy, that can change the story or the world phase. I don't know how that's going to work cooperatively, but having an Iron Man mode or Iron Man level storytelling could be kind of interesting. I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with Outward. I just kind of wanted to rant about it a little bit here, but it's something, and maybe the something to be looking forward to if you are an RPG fan that loves something that's a little bit more unique and original and weird. And at the same time, I mean, if you clicked on this video, co-op RPG, that's a very strange search topic, so I definitely think that Outward is the one that you were looking to find here. So that's all, friends. Yeah, it's 5 games. I mentioned the 5, and well, that's the top ones. Top 5 new upcoming co-op RPG. Now, I definitely scoured the internet for just a little bit, which ones I really should have put on here, but I think a lot of them were obvious. So I do hope that you found one new one, and if not, then maybe some newfound confidence in overall, justifying your excitement and hype for some of the games already on the list, because I'm excited for them for all different reasons, and I tried to mention them, but overall, they're new games. They're upcoming. I don't know how they're going to turn out, especially since most of them are games as a service. But in the end, because of this new wave of games as a service, and they have to be online and playing with your friends and social social community, I don't know, all that stuff. I love it. I eat it up, and I know we do too when we fall prey and victim to a lot of the pitfalls, but I think these are the ones that are most likely the best ones that won't have as far of a fall or maybe as tragic of a story as many others. These are our best shots at a genre that is probably near impossible to really hone and craft, one that I don't even think many people know exists. Co-op RPGs? That's a thing, right? Well, here's a video listing some games, and if you clicked it or if you typed that in, then I guess we're brothers and sisters, we're friends and family. We're looking for this special kind of experience. These developers are looking to give us that, and hopefully, in the end, they do. I think these are the 5 that have that best shot. Thanks for watching, friends and family. Keep the hype alive, and I'll see you again next time.